Tests that national warning points are continuously available to receive notifications, and that the competent authorities for an emergency abroad are available to receive notifications. So the IEC will send an exercise message by fax or email. It will come in to the NWPs and the CAAs, and then a corresponding event will be published on UZ Exercise, and this is conducted once a year. We expect then that the national warning point will acknowledge the UZ Exercise message or send an acknowledgement of receipt by fax or email within 30 minutes. So that's the key for this one, is the timing, because if you're continuously available, then it should not be a problem to respond within 30 minutes. And then the competent authorities for emergencies abroad should respond no later than the next working day. So they have 24 hours to respond. And this is just an example of the type of message, the fax document that you would receive. And then following that exercise, and most of our exercises then following the exercise, an evaluation report will be published on UZ. In this case, the report contains information about the exercise, what was expected, an evaluation, the conclusions and recommendations, and a list of the timely responses. So that last line, that's specific to the 1A, the timeliness of how many countries responded within the 30 minutes, after the 30 minutes, or did not respond at all. And if a country, for any exercise, if a country ever wants an individual assessment of their own participation, you can request that at any time following any of our convex exercises. The Convex 1B tests that national warning points are continuously available, and that the national competent authorities for emergencies abroad can promptly respond to notifications that are received. So again, the IEC will send an exercise message to all NWPs and CAAs and publish a message on UZ and request that all competent authorities for emergencies abroad through their alert channels will confirm on UZ that it has been read. So it's basically an acknowledgement of the message. I believe the button says confirm read, and you click that button so that we know that you have seen it. And then that puts a timestamp on the message to confirm that it has been read. And another example that looks very similar to Convex 1A of the type of message that you would receive. And then Convex 1C, this is the opportunity for member states to test the IAEA's emergency communication channels. And this is basically where a contact point can send a test message by fax or email to the IEC unannounced no more than once per quarter. And then the IEC just returns a simple acknowledgement of receipt on or before the next working day. And no other contact points are involved in this action. It's only the one member state sending the message to the IEC. So that was the Convex 1s. So those are solely focused on communications. And now the Convex 2 exercises, which my colleagues that are all connected right now, this is what our group focuses on mostly, is the Convex 2s and the Convex 3 that's conducted less frequently. So the Convex 2A tests the abilities of competent authorities and ENIS national officers to complete the appropriate reporting forms and the abilities of ERMIS data providers to upload monitoring data. So the IEC invites all contact points to participate in this exercise. So all member states are invited. We don't use the primary communication channels for sending these exercise messages. So I know sometimes during the registration process, people will say, use the information that's in UZ. For exercises, when we conduct this 2A, we ask every country to tell us, to specify the email address they want to receive the injects at, because not every country wants to use their primary communication point to receive these email injects. Whenever something is coming through UZ, when a message is published, that's a different story, but for the exercise purposes, we ask you to specify the email address where we'll send these injects to. They come in the form of a PDF attached to an email. And then you can see in the bottom left corner there, the 3 different times that we'll have as starting times for this exercise. So it's conducted once a year. And then it's basically we're conducting this exercise the entire day because we start at 4 a.m. UTC that's mainly for Asia Pacific Australia region, and then at 10 UTC, which is for Europe and African area, and then at 4 p.m. 1600 UTC, that's for North America, South America, Latin America, Caribbean, that whole region further west. So that gives an opportunity for everyone to play in the Convex 2A during their daytime working hours. During this exercise, it's expected that the competent authorities complete the forms and submit the accurate forms on the UZ exercise website. And the IRMIS data providers upload the monitoring data onto IRMIS exercise also during their normal working hours. And I have on the next slide an example of the inject that we would send during a Convex 2A. And this is an example of one with data for IRMIS. So you see there's a table there. So during the 2A, we give you the data to put in IRMIS. So the IRMIS data uploader, all they need to do is put this into the proper format and upload it to IRMIS. So we're not testing in the 2A, we're not testing that you understand the scenario or that the way that you're responding. We're really just testing that you know how to use UZ and submit the appropriate forms. So you do need to read the scenario, but it's essentially you can just copy and paste the information into the appropriate forms and submit them to us. We're not assessing the content of the form, just that you've selected the appropriate form, if that makes sense. The Convex 2B, this tests the arrangements for a request for assistance and the provision of assistance. So again, all member states are invited to participate, and the relevant national capabilities are tested during the exercise. We will forward messages from the accident state. So we will select a few countries to play as an accident state. They will submit an SRF or a GenF and a request for assistance. And then we will forward that to the other participating contact points to give them the opportunity to submit an offer of assistance. And then we play our role of coordinating the international assistance and developing the assistance action plan. So typically it's conducted over 2 or 3 days. And it depends on the countries that are participating on the hours that we set for playing this exercise. The Convex 2C, this exercise tests arrangements for a transnational nuclear or radiological emergency. It's conducted about every 3 years, and it is announced and lasts no more than 8 hours of duration. And we don't conduct this Convex 2C during the same year as a Convex 3 because this is also a large exercise that's being conducted. I'll skip forward to the Convex 2D because they're very similar. So the Convex 2D tests arrangements for responding to a nuclear radiological emergency that is triggered by a nuclear security event. This also is an exercise that we do not conduct in the same year as a Convex 3. And it is expected that participating competent authorities access information on the UZ exercise platform, confirm that they've read and understood messages, respond appropriately to any requests for information, requests for advice from foreign nationals. This is also conducted once every 2 to 3 years. So both the Convex 2C and 2D involve following along with the scenario on the UZ exercise website. And depending on the accident state of the exercise, it typically is conducted with a full-scale national exercise in the accident country. A Convex 2E, the next one, it tests the IAEA's assessment and prognosis process. So in the Convex 2E, interested member states are encouraged to reach out to the IEC to schedule the timing for this exercise. And this helps to become familiar with the practice of using our assessment and prognosis tools, And we, on our end, also go through this assessment prognosis process with our technical team. And we work together with the member state that's conducting the exercise. Typically, it's only open between the member state that's playing and the IAEA, but if you are the country that's playing this exercise, you're welcome to open it to neighboring countries or any other countries. If it's similar reactor technology, we can share this information with other countries, but only at the request and the agreement of the member state that is the accident state. And Ozga will talk more about the assessment and prognosis tools, and I'm sure the Convex 2E a bit as well later this week. And then here's just a screenshot of the application of the reactor assessment tool, which is one of the assessment and prognosis tools from a member state playing in a nuclear power plant scenario that took place in 2023. And then we have two more Convex 2s. The Convex 2F, this tests the standard operating procedures of the IACRN, the international organizations. So this does not apply to the member states, but we do have some participants in this workshop from international organizations. So the main focus of this exercise lately has been on SOP 104 regarding the public communication of international organizations. And we've had about 2 or 3 hours where we'll conduct an exercise, kind of a tabletop scenario, going through the scenario together with the public information officers at all of the international organizations and discussing how we would respond to that and implement that standard operating procedure. And that's conducted typically every other year. And then Convex 2G, the last one, this tests the arrangements for public communications. The most recent one was conducted in February of this year. And we're going to see a little bit more of this afternoon because I'm going to load the scenario that was played for the Convex 2G into Kali and Response Ready to show you a bit of that tool that will be used for the Convex 3 as well. But while we still use UZ exercise to conduct the Convex 2G, the focus for this is on the public communication arrangements. So that we expect public information officers in each member state to play and to draft press statements based on the scenario taking place in the accident state and the information being exchanged via UZ. And then lastly, the Convex 3. This tests national and international emergency response arrangements for a severe nuclear or radiological emergency. So right now, as you've heard, this year it's going to be conducted by Romania at Cernavodă nuclear power plant. Some of the details are announced in advance to the states that are participating and through the process of registering to participate. And it's based on a national exercise. So Romania is conducting a full-scale exercise at the national level in the field and at the nuclear plant. And this is planned and coordinated with the international organizations through the IACRN, and it's conducted only once every 3 to 5 years. The purpose is to allow states and international organizations to evaluate their own arrangements for response to a severe nuclear or radiological emergency, and to evaluate all of our operational arrangements, as well as testing the direct bilateral and multilateral communications between states, identify good practices and weaknesses throughout the exercise, and at the international level, to focus on the consistency of protective actions and other response actions that are taken by the states in the region. And then as part of the preparations for the exercise, countries do need to nominate controllers and evaluators. And we prepare an exercise manual and guides for players, evaluators, and controllers that are provided to all of the chief controllers at the national level in each country that's participating. And then other exercises that can be conducted. So outside of the framework of a convex exercise, we can also conduct an exercise whenever there's a proposal for new arrangements or to test the functionality and to get feedback from users if, for example, we're updating UZ or updating EARMIS. And then also at the request of a member state or a region, the IEC can participate in any national, regional, or multinational exercise at the request of the state or at the request of an international organization that's hosting or conducting this exercise, as long as we get some advance notice. And the IEC can participate in 3 main ways. One would be by just acknowledging the exercise messages so that you know it was well received. The second would be to authenticate, verify, and actually publish those messages on Use the Exercise. And then the last one would be to have like a full-scale internal exercise with the agency, so we respond and have our full response on the IEC side. So implementing and conducting all of our roles in response here. So just a couple of slides on Convex 3. So this is just previous Convex 3 exercises, started in France, and then in 2005 it was in Romania, Mexico, Morocco, Hungary. The most recent one was at Baraka nuclear power plant in the UAE in 2021. And then this year, next month, it will take place again in Romania after 20 years at Cernavodă NPP. And there were 86 registrations, so 10 international organizations and 76 member states. It's pretty much split in half at the level A and level B participation. So for those of you participating, you would have seen this in the invitation about level A and level B. Essentially, level A is just basic participation, the minimum level. And then level B is a more complex level participation and response at the national level or the level of the international organization. And then we are also conducting this year, concurrent with Convex 3, we'll be conducting sample measurement exercises. So we're doing a gamma spectrum analysis, and a physical sample is being mailed out to participating countries that asked to participate. And these are just the numbers that we have registered for each of these areas. And then some new elements or new focuses for this year. So we have a regional approach and cross-border radiation monitoring. So Romania, Bulgaria, and Moldova, all 3 countries have been involved in the preparations and will be more involved in the conduct than in previous exercises that were centered only in one country. So we will have radiation monitoring taking place in all 3 of the countries in the region, those three countries in this region for the exercise this year. There are some enhanced nuclear security components this year. So there are stronger elements than in previous exercises, both in physical and cybersecurity. And we have been working more closely with NSNS, who has been involved in supporting the preparations for the exercise. And then a more integrated method for planning, conducting, and evaluating the exercise, including social media simulation platforms. And this is referring to this Callian Response Ready platform that we will demonstrate a bit. And for those of you that create an account, you can access it this afternoon, the last session of the day. So in summary, the exercise schedule for the year, the annual schedule is on UZ. If you go to the announcements, you'll be able to see that. Convex 1s are focused on communication. Convex 2s take a bit more effort and require you to complete the forms, submit the SRFs and GenFs on UZ. And Convex 3s test the full operation. It's the full-scale, large international exercise that we'll be conducting next month. And if there are non-successful deliveries, whether it's on UZ or if we send emails to our primary contact points, if we get error bounce backs, we follow up with those to update our contact list. And that should be it for me. Are there any questions?
We have a question on the chat from Uruguay, from Ana Laura. How could a country request IEC for an evaluation on their performance in any convex exercise?
Okay, thank you. So yes, like I said, following any exercise, if you want feedback on specifically on your country's performance, just send an email to IEC routine. I can put the email address in the chat box, but essentially just send us an email telling us which exercise you want feedback on. Typically it would be shortly after the exercise, but at any time you can ask us. If it was further back, we might have to dig up the results. But yeah, you can just send us an email and ask for some individual feedback on your performance.
Stacy?
We
And I
have
put the email
again
address in the chat.
Camille. Camille, you
Yes.
may take the floor.
Thank you, Stacy. It's Kenny from Interpol. When was the last Convex 2F organized?
I believe it was in October
Okay,
of 2024.
okay. So you're planning for 2026 for the next one. You say every second year, right?
Yeah, yes, it was on October 17th. I just had to check the calendar. But yeah, so the plan would be sometime in 2026. And so these exercises, those timelines are estimates. So it can be conducted more frequently, but our goal is to do it at least in that interval. So at least every 2 years.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I don't see anything. We have one question, Malaysia. Nor.
Okay, please, Malaysia, go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Can I say that the convex is for convex 3 is more to who have the NPP. So for others are not who country that do not have the NPP, so they only have for convex 1 and 2 only. I just want to clarify.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. All three of those exercises, all of the convexes are for everyone. So the Convex 3, it's being hosted by a country with a nuclear power plant, but the response is global. So the expectation is that all countries can participate and respond. And we have had, there was a Convex 3 in Morocco that was not based on a nuclear power plant emergency. But other than that, yes, most of them have been based on emergencies at nuclear power plants.
Oh, all right. Just want to clarify. All right, thank you.
Yep.
One more question in the chat.
How can a country far away from the country hosting a Convex 3 exercise participate? So I think we touched a bit on this before, but let me start say again. Nkube, Nokutula, where are you from? Sorry, what is the country you are from? The Zimbabwe, yes, good, thank you. Look, so let me give you an example, if you bear with me, and you tell me if it is like good enough or what do you think about this. You in Zimbabwe, if you say if you are playing, and I don't know if you register to play as A or B, but let's say you have the following situation. At the time of the scenario of the accident, so at the time when let's say the accident is happening in the accident country, in the same day, in the same days, you have a delegation from Zimbabwe. And this delegation from Zimbabwe is let's say, a delegation of politicians or a delegations of tradesmen. They are visiting the country, they are visiting Romania, they are visiting the capital. Okay, and maybe they were close to the nuclear power plant or not. They don't necessarily need to be close to the nuclear power plant. But what happens is that these people from your country are being concerned. They are concerned, and they are going to ask you for an advice, what to do, because they are coming back to you and they are asking because you are the competent authority, the specialist people in the country. They will say, we have been in this country where the accident occurred. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? You know, we are worried. And this is how you, through this situation, you are putting this situation in front of your response organizations in the country, and the response organizations have to come with an answer. They are going to say, okay, we are going to get in contact or in touch with our consulate or with our embassy in Romania, and we are going to give them this and this and these instructions. Most important probably being the fact that the delegation there, they have to listen to what the Romanian authorities are doing and are saying, and they have to obey the instructions which are given to the public and so on. But I don't know if this example may be relevant enough. So that's how you can, without being far away, you still can have, as we said, economics, trade interest, political interest, cultural. You have a cultural show where citizens from your country are participating, and this is happening, let's say, 50 kilometers away from the nuclear power plant, where there is a very touristic area nearby the Black Sea. And then your people are very worried. Some of them are asking for your help. How do you handle those people? How do you do to handle your citizens? Yeah. So these are just a few of the scenarios possible. So you have to come yourself and invent such situations and throw such situations in front of your responders. And in this way, you participate to the convex tree, although you are far away from the exercise. Okay. Good. Then we can give numerous examples like this, and you are going to see such examples, because a number of countries were actually very specific to ask us to help them. They said, we want to play, for instance, a matter related to the export of food, yeah, food products. And then we have placed a situation in the scenario where these food products are being shipped from the accident country to the respective country. And this is putting the respective country in a posture to react and to respond to a possible situation, yeah? And this is how you build yourself, although you are, let's say, far away from, you are not a neighbor of the accident country. Anything else to come in here? I mean, if you want to give some other examples, I don't know, Stacy, but I guess we are.
I think that was good, and I saw the response in the chat saying that was very helpful. So.
Okay.
So if